Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Las Vegas. It is wonderful to be here together, both virtually and in person. My name is Rory, and I use any pronouns. During today's service, you'll also see Mark, who uses he, him pronouns, Nina, who uses she, her pronouns, Alanna, who uses she, they pronouns, and Melody, who uses these, your pronouns. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, whatever you believe about life's journey, you are welcome here. We broadcast a video feed for our virtual attendees. If you wish not to be recorded, please sit towards the back of the sanctuary. Today, during Of Our Hearts, we will express our joys and sorrows through the pebble and water ritual familiar to many UUs. We will still read the names of anyone who is written in the book or in the chat. During Of Our Hearts, you can also choose to participate in this movement ritual and come up here if you would like. After the service, we hope you'll join us for our coffee hour. If you're new here, you are our guest. We look forward to getting to know each other right outside the doors of the sanctuary. Having your chosen name and pronoun visible during service is an act of love and kindness. For those in the sanctuary, we encourage you to wear a name tag, which includes your pronouns. For those who are in our virtual space, please edit your name to include your pronouns as well. When we come together, we practice creating inclusive, worshipful spaces together. Please silence your cell phones and refrain from using the chat on Zoom. If you've been coming for a while, you may notice that there are some changes taking place in our sanctuary. We are making changes so that this is a more welcoming space for people of all ages. Please move in ways that your body needs. It's okay to wiggle, to stand up, to sleep if you need it, to color, or to fidget. You'll notice we have a nice big carpet up here in the front. There are coloring pages in the back that you are welcome to pick up with some reflective questions on one side and a coloring page on the other. Please help yourself. We will not be offended if you get up in the middle of service and move as your body needs to. All bodies are welcome here. Please welcome to our service.
It is good to be with you today. The Unitarian Universalist congregation of Las Vegas is situated on traditional homelands of the Nuwuvi Southern Paiute people. We are very grateful for the land itself and for those who steward it for generations, and for the opportunity to worship, learn, work, grow, and be in community with this land and her peoples. We encourage everyone here to continue learning about the indigenous peoples who work and live on this land since time immemorial, including the Las Vegas Paiute tribe and the Moapa Band of Paiutes, and about the historical and present realities of colonialism. It is important to recognize and appreciate the use of Southern Paiute land as part of our mission to be a welcoming and inclusive place for worship, spiritual enrichment, and exploration within the community. Today we are highlighting the Oxsam Camp, which is a native prayer camp at Thacker Pass, Nevada, locating a massive open pit lithium mine. The planned mine would deface sacred site within one of the mine's project open pits, irreparably destroying a source of traditional medicine and prayer integral to the surrounding tribes. Consider exploring the social media of Oxsam Camp, sharing information, and donating your time, treasure, or talents to uplift this important prayerful presence. And now we will ring a bell. I like this bell.
When we gather together, we light a chalice, symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. This chalice reminds us that we are connected to a much larger religious tradition that stretches out out of the past, reaches around the world, and leads into our shared future. And now join with me. We light the chalice as a reminder that together we are a beacon in the heart. May its light lead the way to love, acceptance, and justice as we strive for personal and societal transformation.
We are moving the meditation earlier in the service today, so we can use it to create a space where we can think about our future together. This is a future self meditation, but instead of focusing on ourselves as individuals, we're going to focus on ourselves as a community and practice imagining what we can become.
Move your body in its most comfortable position. Allow your eyes to close and begin. Focus your thoughts and your breath. Breathe easily and effortlessly. Then breathe out. Notice how you drop deeper inside. It feels good to journey into the quiet and peace of your inner world.
As you start to feel a sense of deep relaxation, picture our community standing before a peaceful lake or pond. Someone drops a pebble in the center, and we all notice the water rippling out. As the ripples flow further out and eventually slow down, the water once again becomes quiet and peaceful, and so do we.
Now standing on the edge of the body water, imagine there is a bright beam of orange light that extends into space. We start our journey by following the beam as it travels from the earth up into the sky. We travel further into outer space to take a minute to notice the beauty of earth below. A crystal blue ocean, the calming white clouds. Allow yourself to sit in awe for a moment. All you see. Allow yourself to feel the grace of experience altogether. Once it in the vagueness of outer space, we notice a nearby beam of beautiful blue light. We begin to follow that beam back to Earth. Now 1 year from now, 1 year into the future, keep following this beam down to Earth, noticing details on Earth getting clearer and closer as we land back on Earth. Notice where we are. We are meeting the future version of our community.
Take a good look around. Who is there with us in this future version of our community? Are there familiar faces or new ones? How do you feel as you gaze at our future community? In your heart and your head, take another good look around at our future community, and this time notice our space. Where are we gathering? Is it inside or outside? What landscape does it have? How have we made a space that is accessible to everyone? How do you feel as you stand in our space? Our community comes together to worship, teach, learn, and grow. So in our future community, how is this happening together? We're about to leave, but we notice that our future community has a gift for us. Open your hands, receive this gift. What do you notice about it? In your heart, ask our future community, what would you like us to know about this gift?
Thank our future community for spending time with us and sharing wisdom. As you take a deep breath, step back into that beam of beautiful blue light and feel it take you back into space. Watch our future community grow even smaller as we move out into space. Look at the ball of blue and green below you. Clouds swirling around, find the orange light once more. Step into its warmth, then follow back down to Earth and into present time. Come back into our room, take one final deep breath, and open your eyes.
Please stand in body or spirit and join us in singing our hymn today. We'll Build a Land. It's number 121 in the gray hymnal.
We'll build a land where we bind up the broken.
So welcome, everyone. I am going to tell you a story. So actually, let's start with a question. Has anyone ever visited another country before? Was anyone here, a lot of you, was anyone here born in another country? No, huh? Oh, yes? Yeah? Someone? So this is a story about a girl who was born in China and eventually became one of our very influential Unitarians. Does anybody have an idea who this might be? Ooh. So let's begin. She says, "Mama, Mama, why do we keep going and not getting anywhere?" said little Sophie. Her family was crossing the Pacific Ocean on a big ship bound for America. Sophie Lyon was an American girl who was 3.5 years old, making her first trip to America. She and her older brothers and sisters had all been born in China, where her father was an evangelical Christian minister, and her mother had started a school for Chinese girls. When they made this long trip back to America in 1880, Sophie's parents thought their family was going to go back to China a year later, but plans changed, and Sophie never returned to China again. She grew up, and her memories of China grew very dim, but she hoped that one day, when she was all grown, she would be a Christian minister just like her parents. In college, she even joined a club for other young people who also wanted to be Christian teachers. And she met another devoted volunteer. Does anybody know what his name was? Harvey Foz. Yes. So they began writing letters back and forth, and they made plans to travel and teach together. 6 years later, they were married. But instead of traveling to another country, they just went to New York City. Harvey had a job, and Sophia Lyon Foz taught Sunday school and continued her studies, excited about new ideas that she was learning. Sophia and Harvey's first child was born in 1904. And in those days, many, many women gave up their outside work once they became new mothers. But Sophia was determined to keep learning and keep teaching Sunday school. And she did. As it turned out, being a mother actually helped Sophia to learn. She learned about children from being with her own children and learning about their ideas and questions. So I have a question for you, especially for the young people here. Is there anything that children teach adults? Yeah, what kind of things? Patience, I heard patience, yes.
Be Pacific.
Be specific about your requests, absolutely. Any other ideas out there? New ways of doing things, yeah. How to be simple, right? How to play, right? Absolutely, right? So there are so many things that our children can teach us. And when her children asked her questions, Sophia did her best to try to answer them. Her children had very interesting questions, like, where does snow come from? And where were we before we were born? She tried to answer her children's questions, and Sophia learned how much she did not know. And you might think not having the answer to these questions might kind of ruin her faith, but it turns out it was the opposite. She started to believe that to have a strong faith, finding questions you really care about is just as important as having the answers. One time, when Sophia taught a religious education class, she told a lively story about a real person who had been a Christian teacher in another country. The children were eager to hear the story and eager to talk about it. Like her own children at home, these children asked questions, the interesting kind of questions that let Sophia know they were thinking and learning. Sophia's ideas about religion changed over time. As a young person, she had thought Christianity was the one true religion, and people all over the world should learn the Bible. As she grew, she realized that the Bible was not the only book with truth in it. She collected stories from all over the world and filled with truth and beauty to help children's spirits to stretch and grow. She published stories in a book called From Long Ago and Many Lands. In those days, when most adults thought children's minds were like empty jars to be filled with learning, Sophia thought differently. She thought children are like gardens, already planted with seeds and possibility for learning and growing. She thought that a teacher's job, the adult's job, all of our job, is to provide good soil and water and sunlight for these gardens to grow. In religious school, a teacher can help children grow in their spirit and their faith. So, I have another question for you. You guys up for this one? What do you think could help a child grow in their spirit? What should teacher love? What should teachers like us? What adults like us? What should we help with? Yes. What do you think? Anybody else? Yeah. Encouragement. Yeah. Yeah, helping you guys learn to be strong in yourselves. Any thoughts? Okay. Any other thoughts? Listening. Yes. Right? There is so much we can learn if we listen. Support. Absolutely. We can offer them support, right? In how can they be in this world, right? So when Sophia Foz wrote about her beliefs, the president of the American Unitarian Association was very impressed, and he asked her to talk to the Unitarian religious educators. Unitarian Sunday school teachers liked her ideas, and this is why when you come here, right, we encourage children to touch, to ask questions, to participate, to be active. She is the reason for all of that. When she was 82 years old, Sophia became a Unitarian minister. Her own life was a great example of her belief that every person in a congregation should continue to learn and grow, from the smallest child to the oldest adult. Sophia Foz lived a long, long time, 102 years, and she never stopped learning new things. If she was alive today and she came to visit us here, she would want to know about our experiences, like how we explored these world religions this last summer with the kids in our family faith development, and how these ideas have helped us learn and grow. She would want to know what stories we have read and how they've helped to grow our spirits. She would want to know how we ask questions, right? How we seek answers, and how we learn from each other. Imagine how happy she would be to see us watering one another's seeds of spiritual growth as we begin this journey today. Thank you.
We will now ground ourselves in the present and honor the thread of humanity that connects us as living beings. As humans striving toward a beloved community, we have the privilege and responsibility to hold on to each other as we live the joys and sorrows of life.
Today, we will partake in a common UU ritual of marking our joys and sorrows by dropping a pebble in water. The pebble signifies a lightness or burden on your heart. The water represents the love and strength of our community to surround, support, and celebrate you. It is not necessary to speak during this ritual today. There is also a small bowl of lightly scented eucalyptus oil if you would like to anoint yourself to seal the practice. You may lightly dab it on your wrists, temples, or simply feel the joy of it gliding between your fingers. For those on Zoom, you can also participate in this ritual by dropping a small pebble into a container of water to represent a joy or a sorrow. We may not see you, but we witness you in spirit. If you would like to participate with us today, please line up along the center aisle.
in addition to that which is represented here, we also hold up Quentin and Blank Tungama, Caitlin and David Ford, the unhoused during the storm, Dan Tossig, Ann Belle Tetlau. Irma, is there anyone in the chat?
Yes. Please keep in your minds Peggy Oakes, George Early, and Anthony Zavalensky.
Thank you for participating in that shared ritual. May we hold that which is spoken and that which is kept in the silence of our hearts in love and compassion.
We gather as a religious community to give each one of us a place where we can do the work of many. The offering supports the mission of this congregation to be a beacon of love and justice in the desert, and supports local organizations working to make our community a better place for all. Offering today is shared with the Ukrainian Families Fundraiser, which is sponsored by Prairie UU in Prairie, Colorado. These families have recently taken refuge in the USA, and Prairie UU are holding a fundraiser so they may continue to offer them financial support. Our 50-50 raised today will help the families with their needs as they get started in this new land. The link to donate your offering will be in the chat on Zoom, and our ushers are kindly passing the plates where you also can donate. And now, please join with me. With gratitude for the abundance in our own lives, we give for the life of this congregation and the benefit of the larger community. Thank you for your generosity.
Anybody want to gather around up here? I'm going to sit down here if you guys don't mind. Nobody? Just you? Oh my gosh. Nobody else? We need to get this probably carpet a little closer. Nobody? Oh my gosh.
The Wonder Box.
It's not the Wonder Box. We're changing it up this year. It's going to be called the Gift Box. You think why do you think we have now called the Gift Box? There's our gifts in it, yeah. And they actually are symbols that things that we carry in our heart as UU people, because we share lots of gifts of our faith, right? So we're going to be spending some time exploring all different gifts that our faith gives us and that we can give to others. And from week to week, there might be this little part here. It won't be every week, but we'll have it sometimes. And while these things are inside, you can touch. They're not the true gifts. The true gifts you carry in your heart. Now, one word that we heard today is community, right? A little bit talking, we've kind of been blurring that out a little bit there. Well, inside here is something that will help you think about community. Do anybody want to try to guess what's inside the box? Don't say it.
I know what's in there.
You know what's in there, I know. Anybody else want to guess? Let's see if somebody out there.
A circle.
A circle? It makes a noise. You know, Christmas time, this is one of my favorite things to do. Money. No, money doesn't make that sound, but that's a good try. Anybody else? What is it?
Carrots.
Yeah, it's carrots. See? Carrots. I wish I had a few more people up here because I got plenty of carrots to go around. Why do you think it's carrots? They grow. That's a good answer. You can eat them, yeah. But is that a gift?
I know.
Part of, yeah.
Because Rory earlier, she was saying that kids are like a garden and adults are like watering and giving them soil and stuff.
Wow, that's an excellent analogy. Awesome. Where did they grow? So they grow in the ground, right?
Yeah.
All right. But there was a ground due for the carrots. Surrounds it. It holds it. Imagine if there's no ground. What would the carrot do?
It would just fall.
Fall. Yep.
The carrot are like love surrounding this whole community.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And you know what also they're really cool is they also call a taproot. See how these things just go straight down? You know how hard it is to pull a carrot out? Yeah. Except one time I had a garden, and guess what the animals did? I kid you not. They ate it. But you know what was funny is we went and pulled one up, and it was like this. Straight up, okay? Went to the next one, pulled it up, same one. The whole row was eaten by the animals. Boom, boom, boom. It's almost like a cartoon. So these deep roots really help hold the plants up. And that's kind of how this church is too. It helps us hold up. Yeah.
Though the church is breaking, so it can't really hold us up anymore.
Well, and the church is holding us too. Here, let me give you an example of how it works. Melody, you want to make a finger like that, okay? And Alanna, now put your fingers together. Try to connect them without turning. No. Keep them connected like no. Different, like this. Can you connect them like that? No, but watch what happens if you put the carrot in there. Now try it. See? The carrot holds you together. So that's kind of the symbol of it. So plants are held by the soil, and the soil holds the plants. Just like the church here holds us, and we, Melody, as you said, hold the church. So that's kind of what we're talking about today, is community.
Hang on a second.
You guys, you want a carrot?
You said that you said the plants are holded by the ground,
Yep.
and the soil holds the plants.
Yep, because what happens if it rains and there's no plants?
You didn't say that the plants hold the soil.
I know. The soil washes away if the plants aren't there, right?
Oh, yeah.
So see, the plants hold the soil. Anybody else want a carrot?
They have roots.
Melody, can you hand out the carrots?
Yes.
Awesome, thank you. And thank you guys for coming up here and having fun.
Thanks, Mark. Early in May, I stood here and told you about the survey that I created as a part of my adult religious education course last fall. At the time, I thought it would be a helpful and perhaps simple way for us to collect information about what the adults in our community were hoping for out of religious education programming. I thought this information could mobilize the team working alongside the Reverend to respond to congregational desires. As things do when you breathe life into them, the tool and its purpose began to change. We expanded the scope of questioning to be age inclusive. We updated language for relevancy and accessibility. And we realized that the timeline for feedback and synthesis would align nicely with the late summer kickoff of the church year. And if you or yours were involved in any iteration of that process, thank you again for your help. The survey that was built was modeled from the 1997 Needs and Aspirations Survey, distributed by the UUA in the fall of 1997. And as I mentioned before, almost 10,000 UUs took the time to fill out and return the survey. A truly wondrous feat, considering that at that time, people had to tear the survey out of World Magazine, respond, and mail it in. This happened at an important identity-building time for our faith community. The goal was to help us move toward agreement about why we come together as congregations and as an association, and what we hope to accomplish in our work. We, in this community, are welcoming this next church year with an unanticipated newness. More than simply being called to touch down after a summer of solar-powered movement, to begin to make sense of the glorious scatter of summer and return to a routine, to ready our spirits for that which may be harvested and that which may eventually lie fallow, we are being invited into a new way of being together, a practice in self-leadership, a time to grow our collective soul. 39 members and friends of UUCLV responded to this survey, which asked questions aligned to our community's identity and the future that we would like to build together. Most of us believe that respecting all kinds of people and ourselves and becoming the people that we want to be are two of the most important things that we learn together at church. As I mentioned, the original purpose of the survey was to support informed decision-making around lifespan religious education. Historically, our community has approached religious education with deep intention and hope. For longer than I've been a member, many of you have been acting as the skeleton of religious education programs, whether driven by your desire to personally immerse in a topic with the company of others, or to offer critical programming to our young people as they navigate the gorgeous and scary work of growing up. And while our intentions and hopes around religious education have effectively served slices of our community, our efforts have often failed to sink into the whole bones of our community and become something on which we can hang our collective hat. For those of you who have brought a friend on any given Sunday, how many have made the value proposition, come check out our religious ed programs? A little over half of the people who responded to our survey agree that at church we should be learning and defining what we actually believe and care about. We are a part of a faith community that is difficult to define. Each of us has walked a uniquely beautiful path to find this community, and our individual embodiment of our faiths can make it easy to think that it is by our physical gathering that we transform from individuals to a community. But it is certainly more than that. When we gather, we are greater than the sum of our individual identities. Through building and practicing spiritual community, by having a place to offer what we can and receive what we need, we can allow ourselves to be changed in the process. Not necessarily compromising that which is integral to any one of us, but akin to rocks emerging from a tumbler, through this work, we may become the most beautiful versions of ourselves. The Religious Education Committee has been meeting regularly now for 5 months to ready ourselves for church year 23-24. Using feedback from the survey and balancing our greatest dreams with sustainability and reality, we carry forward 3 priorities with great care. The first is a true investment in age-inclusive programming and spaces. You, our community, repeatedly voiced the value of religious education leadership, even on yesterday's congregational meeting, if you joined us there. And we are exploring how unanticipated additional room in the budget may make this even more possible. Our second priority is a focus on identity building. We cannot effectively know where we're going if we don't know who we are and we don't know what we want. And our third priority is to offer both intrapersonal work, which is the work that we do within our own mind and spirit and soul, and interpersonal work, or the work that we do together with other people. To that end, we present you 3 options for religious education programming that will span from early fall to the end of the calendar year. On the wall, right here, in those big Post-its, you'll see the explanation of 3 religious education programs that have been selected and brought to you from a much larger pool of options. You'll have an opportunity to peruse these more deeply after the service, but you'll see age inclusion, you'll see personal development, and you'll see Unitarian Universalist identity. You all should have received 2 stickers, and if you don't, I think Alanna and Melody can help you out with that. And as you leave today, please use those 2 stickers to vote for the program or programs that you would most like our community to offer in this next season of being together. And to be clear, this is really our focused priority between now and the end of December. The name of each curriculum is listed on the top. There's a small explanation of each one of them on the bottom, and a big square where you can put your stickers. If you feel really strongly about them, you can put both of them in one, or you can split them between the two. And we'll be voting today and also next Sunday. You'll get more stickers next Sunday, so you can think about it too. Think about what you would like to commit to. Think about what you would like to learn together. And think about what you might be interested in leading. In the absence of a minister, and to further the commitment to a church experience that feels integrated, the worship and religious education team are both using Soul Matters as an anchor in our planning moving forward. This UU curriculum provides thematically aligned readings and hymns and gives the worship team something from which to build reliably quality Sunday services. And the RE team, a common thread to pull through small group ministry and activities for children. In her publication called Full Week Faith, Karen Bellavance Grace gives a pathway for church communities to come together and offer an integrated approach to something that she calls exper-learning. Our opportunities to learn, grow, and be together are a process and not an end. If we are to bridge the gap between where we are and where we dream about being, we cannot contain the emotions and impact of church to an hour on Sunday mornings. Furthermore, to be a community holding such significant change as we are right now, and being called to deepen our practice of shared leadership, we have to take every opportunity that we can to practice the hard and important work of asking, where do we come from, what are we, and where are we going? Only through creating sustainable and impactful programs that decentralize the Sunday morning experience and that invite and value people of all ages can we fully live our faith. There was so much helpful information gleaned from the survey, many, many more bits than I have time to unpack with you here. I will get a summary report to Irma for distribution in the coming week, so you can peruse at your leisure if you're interested in going deeper into the information that we gathered. From a logistical standpoint, half of everyone said that they wanted to participate in a full year-long program, and the other half said they preferred drop-ins or programs of various lengths. So we'll offer both of those, and we hope that you'll show up. We also hear the value of continuing with hybrid options for all, and we're committed to that as well. Your feedback suggests we still have work to do in making our covenant a reality. Strengthening lay-led services, diversifying our music offerings, supporting Maggie, and combating burnout in our leaders. There is strong interest in a scholarly approach to multi-religiosity and a desire to learn and celebrate how multiple faith communities mark the passing of time. There is a shared, deep desire to use this community as a place to learn about how to help others and practice covenant and forgiveness. And everyone that responded wants to make a difference and help build a better world. Thank you to everyone who completed the survey. Thank you for trusting us with your feedback and trusting that it would be a force for evolution. Thank you to everyone who has been fostering community, leading and participating in religious education, offering pastoral care, serving on committees, planning social activities, and supporting the operations and administration of this community so we remain self-sustaining and true to our values. In response to the question, how have you been changed, affected, or supported by your UU faith? Most people in our congregation indicated that their faith shapes how they show up in the world and helps in connecting with others and feeling less alone. When we come together, we are not merely a sum of our parts. We are something entirely different, a new ecosystem. And every day we can try anew to be a force for change in a world that desperately needs it. As I followed the orange beam into the sky and the blue beam into our future, I imagined our congregation living full week faiths, returning to our church on Sundays or Tuesdays or Fridays to lead and participate and grow together, returning to our faiths in our heart every day where we know who we are and we can keep our tradition alive in our homes, workplaces, schools, and neighborhoods. Thank you.
As we begin to close out our service, I have a call to action. There are two parts to this call to action. First, this service was about a sample of people who are members and friends and what they think about UUCLV. When asked how you'd like to be a part of the church in the coming year, believe it or not, a quarter of the respondents asked they'd like to help or mentor others. This week, the call to action is an ask. An ask for you to spend some time to contemplate about what UUCLV does for you and what you can do for UUCLV. As you can see from this service, we have many who have positive feelings about it. But alike the gifts of the carrot root, if our community does not have deep and healthy roots, the soil of UUCLV will erode. And the soil holds the roots, and the roots hold the soil. If you think you have something to share, speak up. No one knows your talent better than you. You can talk to the worship team. Can everybody who on the worship team raise their hands, please? Holy cow. All right, thank you from the bottom of my heart for being on the worship team. You can also speak to the board of trustees. Are there any board of trustees in the house? Wow, quite a few of those too. Thank you for serving this church. And you can speak to the pastoral care team. Can those of you who are on pastoral care raise their hands? All right, well, thank you very much. There are others out there too, I know. Let us all take a brief moment together in community silence and contemplate and reflect on how you can help UUCLV this coming year. Thank you. Now the second ask is a much easier ask. As you leave the sanctuary today, please place one or two stickers. You can place one or two or both on the same one on the RE offerings that you're interested in participating in. If you're on Zoom, just send a message to Irma on which ones you think there are. Do we have a way to do that, or did we not? I don't think they can. Shoot. We'll send out an email to you guys so you guys can vote. How's that? There we go. We'll figure it out. All right, so that is about it for the call to action. Thank you.
And join now with me.
We
Release that which is called with love and gratitude, and we extinguish the flame, but not our commitment to being a beacon in the desert. This burns brightly until we gather again.
On September 3rd, we are happy to be celebrating baby Stella's dedication in a ceremony following the Sunday service. We hope that you'll join us welcoming this very special little one. As we mentioned at the top, we're working toward a more age-inclusive and comfortable sanctuary for all. If you have spare pillows that are in good shape and you would like to donate them, you can bring them or you can chat with Rory or Mark. Finally, as summer comes to an end and we begin the church year, remember to keep an eye on the flash for important announcements, including information about the service auction. It is special to dream about the community that we want to have. It is even more special to work on creating it together. Next week's service will be multi-generational again and deepen our focus on religious education. We hope you'll join us. Thank you for being with us today. Be at peace and go in love.